Hi friends, welcome to the second session on percentages. Now in the previous session we have learned the basics of percentages, where we have learned the fractional equivalent of a percentage, and another important point that we have learned in the previous session is 100% of any value is the value itself. Now today let us discuss few more questions in this chapter. Now the first question: the price of sugar is increased by 25%. What is a percentage change in consumption of sugar by a family if the expenditure remains unaltered? Now to solve this problem, we have different methods. First method, you can solve this problem by using a formula. Now how to solve this problem by using a formula? Now, when the price of any commodity is increased by R%, price is increased by R%, and when expenditure is unaltered, unaltered is no change or constant, then what happens to the consumption? Consumption decreases. By what percent? By using the formula, it is R by 100 plus R into 100%. Now using this formula, we can solve this problem, but there is a drawback while using this formula. We can use this formula only when expenditure remains unaltered, but if expenditure changes, this formula will not help us out. But first of all, let us try to solve this problem by using this formula. Now in the given question, we are given price is increased by 25% and expenditure remains unaltered. So definitely consumption decreases. By what percent? 25 by 100 plus 25 into 100%. Now calculating this, it's 25 by 125 into 100. 25 5s, 5 20s. So consumption decreases by 20%. Now this is one method to solve this problem. Now still there are two more ways to solve this problem. The second method to solve this problem is by taking an equation between price, consumption and expenditure. Now what is the equation that we can write between these three terms? Now if I take an example, suppose I say the price of this marker is 25 rupees and I want to buy 10 markers. Now what is the expenditure? Definitely if the price of each marker is 25 rupees and I want to purchase 10 markers, my expenditure will be 250, 25 into 10. So price per article into the number of articles gives you expenditure. Now 25 rupees is the price, 10 is the consumption, that is a quantity which I purchase, and 250 is the expenditure. So price multiplied by consumption gives us expenditure. Now using this, we will try to solve this question. Now as we discussed, price into consumption gives us expenditure. Price is unit price. Now while solving this problem, in the question it is given the price of sugar is increased by 25%. Now we do not know what is the initial price of the sugar. So instead of assuming a variable, let us assume let the initial price of the sugar is 100 and let us assume that the family is purchasing 100 kilograms of sugar. Then what is their expenditure? 100 into 100, their expenditure is 10,000. Now according to the question, this price should be increased by 25%. Initial price of the sugar is 100, after increasing by 25%, the new price of the sugar becomes 125. We do not know the consumption, but according to the question, expenditure remains unaltered. That means the expenditure should be the same, 10,000. Now solving this, consumption will be 10,000 by 125. 25 5s, 25 400s and 5 80s. So you can see the new consumption is 80. Initially the consumption was 100. That is, the family was purchasing 100 kilograms. Now they are able to purchase only 80 kilograms. So we can clearly see the consumption decreases by 20%. Percent means per 100. So initial value is 100, now it is 80, so it is decreased by 20%. Now this is a second method to solve this problem. Now what is the difficulty in this method? The difficulty in this method is we have to perform a lot of calculations to solve the problem, and it becomes difficult with little bit of percentages changed. Instead of giving 25%, if it is given 33 1/3%, 12.5%, calculations take some time. Now let's see the third method to solve this problem. In this third method, we use common sense, that is a logical idea to solve this problem. Now when I tell logical, it should be practical. Now let's see how to answer this question logically. Now logically is practical. The price of sugar is increased by 25%. Now let us suppose one fine day I go to a supermarket to do some shopping. While going through the shop, I find a packet of sugar where the price of that packet is written as 100 rupees. There is a packet of sugar whose price is 100 rupees. Now this complete packet is 100% for me. That is the total sugar, packet of sugar. Now I come back, but after few days, according to the problem, this price, which is 100, should be 125 rupees, because the price is increased by 25%. Now as a customer, I do not know what does a shopkeeper do about the price every day. Now I want to buy that packet of sugar, so the next day I go to the supermarket, but I see that the new price of the sugar is 125. Assuming that the packet of the sugar will be only 100, I bring only 100 to the shop. Now this 125 rupees is now 100%, but I bring only 100 rupees to the shop. Now I want to buy sugar for 100 rupees. Now what will the shopkeeper do? Definitely from this packet of sugar, which is 125, he has to remove 25 rupees worth sugar. That means he will be giving me only 100 rupees worth sugar. Now this is the part which I am going to take back along with me. Actually I came to purchase this complete packet which was 100 rupees, which is now 125 rupees. Because I bring only 100 rupees, he will be giving me only 100 rupees sugar. It means I am unable to buy 25 rupees sugar from a packet of 125. Now 125 rupees is 100%. What is 25 rupees? Definitely 25 rupees will be how much percent? 25 into 100 by 125. 25 5s, 5 20s. So it is 20%. So clearly you can see consumption is decreased by 20%. Now instead of doing all this on the board or on the paper, how can we tell quickly? To tell quickly, once again we have to recollect what we have learned in the previous video. Like 8 is what percent of 16? 8 is what percent of 16? 8 by 16 is 1 by 2, which is 50%. 6 is what percent of 24? 6 by 24, 1 by 4, which is 25%. So these are the basic points which we use to solve this problem. The simplest way, let's do it. To solve this problem in a simple way, we have to think in two ways. One, we have to think like a shopkeeper. Second, we have to think like a customer. Now, when will we think like a shopkeeper? When we alter the price, increase or decrease the price. When should we think like a customer? When we talk about expenditure. Assume the initial price of the sugar is 100. Definitely, customer should be bringing 100 rupees along with him. But the shopkeeper, he increased the price by 25%. So 100 rupees sugar is now available for 125. But customer is not willing to spend anything extra other than 100 because expenditure remains unaltered. So he will be bringing or he will be spending 100 rupees. 125 rupees sugar is present in front of him and he gives only 100 rupees. So definitely he is unable to buy 25 rupees sugar from a packet of 125. Now 25 is what percent of 25? 25 by 125 is 1 by 5 and 1 by 5 in terms of percentage is 20%. So consumption decreases by 20%. Now these are the three methods in which we can solve this problem. Now let's take one more example where here price is increased. What happens when price decreases? Now let us discuss another question of the same model. The price of rice is decreased by 20%. What is the percentage change in the consumption of rice by a family if expenditure remains unaltered? Now here, if I use the formula to solve this problem, now in the previous problem price was increased. Now here price is decreased. If price is decreased by R% and when expenditure is unaltered, then consumption increases by R by 100 minus R into 100%. Now this is a formula we have to apply to solve this problem. Now previously when price was increased, consumption decreased by R by 100 plus R into 100%. But now here price decreased by R%. So consumption increases by R by 100 minus R into 100%. Now let's solve this problem by using this formula. Now according to our problem, price is decreased by 20%. So definitely consumption should increase by 20 by 100 minus 20 into 100%, which is 20 by 80 into 100, 24s, 4 25s. So consumption increases by 25%. Now this is the first method to solve this problem. Now let's solve the same problem in the next method where we have solved the problem by using an equation. Price, consumption and expenditure. Price into consumption is expenditure. Once again, let us assume the initial price of rice per kilogram is 100 rupees. Consumption, let us assume that the family is purchasing 100 kilograms, then their expenditure should be 10,000. Now this price initially, which is 100, is now decreased by 20%. So the new price of the rice should be 80. We do not know about consumption now, but expenditure should remain the same, 10,000. Expenditure remains unaltered. Now what is the consumption? It should be 10,000 divided by 80. Solving this, we get consumption is 125. Now initially the family is purchasing 100 units. Now the family will purchase 125 units. So you can clearly see the consumption is increased by 25%. Now this is a second method to solve this problem. Now let us look into the logical way of solving this problem. Now the logical way of solving this problem, as I told, you have to think in two ways. One, you have to think like a shopkeeper, other you have to think like a customer. Assume the initial price of rice is 100. So definitely the customer has to bring 100 rupees to purchase 100 rupees of rice. Now the shopkeeper, he decreased this price by 20%. So 100 rupees worth rice is now available for only 80 rupees. But customer, he is ready to spend same 100 rupees. So you can clearly see 100 rupees rice is now available for 80. Customer is ready to spend 100. So definitely customer is able to buy 20 rupees extra rice from rice worth of 80. So 20 by 80 is 1/4 and 1/4 will be 25%. So consumption here increased by 25%. That means he came to buy 100% of rice, but now he will be able to purchase 125% of rice with the same money what he wanted to spend. Now let us look into the next problem, next level of problem here. Now till now in the previous two problems we have discussed when expenditure remains unaltered. Now let's see how to solve the same problem when expenditure changes. Now let's look into the third problem. The price of sugar is increased by 30%. What is the percentage change in the consumption of sugar by a family if the expenditure is increased by 4%? Now we cannot apply the formula what we have learned to solve this particular problem, because the formula can be used only when expenditure remains unaltered. Now how to solve this problem? Now we can use equation as well as logical idea to solve this particular problem. Now first let us try to solve this problem by equation. Now we know that price into consumption gives us expenditure. Now let us assume the initial price of sugar per kilogram is 100 rupees, and let us assume that the family is purchasing 100 kilograms. So definitely their total expenditure should be 10,000. Now what happened to the price? The price is increased by 30%. So the initial price which was 100 rupees now becomes 130. We do not know about the consumption, but here it is given expenditure is increased by 4%. Now the initial expenditure is 10,000, which should be now increased by 4%. Now what is 4% of 10,000? 4% of 10,000 is 400. So the new expenditure should be 10,400. Now price is 130, expenditure is 10,400, then what is the consumption? 10,400 by 130. Now solving this, we get consumption is 80. That is, a family which was initially purchasing 100 kgs will be now able to purchase only 80 kgs. So consumption decreases by 20%. So this is one method to solve this particular problem. Now let us try to solve this problem logically in a very simple way. Now logically we have to think in two ways. One like a shopkeeper, other like a customer. Assume initial price of sugar is 100 rupees. So definitely customer should bring 100 rupees to buy that sugar. Now the shopkeeper, he increased the price of sugar by 30%. So 100 rupees sugar is now available for 130. But customer, he increased his expenditure by only 4%. So he will be able to spend 104 rupees. 130 rupees sugar is present in front of him, but the customer is giving only 104 rupees. So how many rupees sugar he is unable to buy? Definitely he is unable to buy 26 rupees sugar from sugar worth of 130. So definitely his consumption decreases. 26 by 130 is 1 by 5, and 1 by 5 in terms of percentage is 20%. So consumption decreases by 20%. Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe at Naresh IT.